The preseason begins tonight, which helps with the diversion for the crap that you otherwise would be dealing with. Now, the preseason, in my view, and I say this every year, there's one primary objective. Get through it with your team as healthy as possible. That's it. That's all that matters. The practice reps are good for separating the final 7, 8, 9 roster spots. I mean, even by now, teams know who the top 40 to 45 guys are. They know. They probably had a pretty good idea of the 35 to 40 going into training camp. By now, 2 weeks of training camp practices, 40 to 45, they know. So all that's really up for grabs at this point is the last 5 or 6 roster spots. Now, beyond that, you've got the practice squad designations. So you've got guys fighting for that. But most teams have a pretty good idea at this point. The preseason games are part of the money grab. And let's call it what it is. I mean, they've got 3 games per team. And I know that it's not full price like it used to be, but they've got revenue streams that are tied to these phony games. And I still remember watching preseason games as a kid in the 70s when there were 6 of them before 14 regular season games. It was on TV and I watched it. There were 3 channels, not counting PBS or that weird channel that always had syndicated shows but never any network programming that eventually in most markets became Fox. It was your ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, and that was that. So if there was a nationally televised preseason game, it didn't matter. If it's preseason, you're still watching it. So that's still part of it. 20 total games for the NFL every year. And you see how they want to move that needle toward fewer preseason, more regular season. So bottom line, 3 preseason games, stay healthy. And don't read a whole lot into anything that anyone does because there's no real game planning. Most players are out of the game by the time they could ever get to the point in the game where they start to figure out what the defense is doing. You know, quarterback comes out and maybe struggles. Well, as the game went on, maybe he would have been better. Maybe they would have figured out what a defense is doing. Maybe if the player looks good, he would have looked a lot worse if he played the whole game. It really is a warped view of what truly happens in a football game that counts. It looks like real football. It feels like real football. It's televised like real football, but we know it's not real football. And the real objective is don't get injured. There will inevitably be something that happens that knocks a starting player out into the regular season, maybe out for the year. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we know from experience these are the things that occur. So hold your breath when your favorite team is playing. Check PFT for any injury updates to see whether or not you've had a key player on your favorite team go down, and then you pick up the pieces. And look.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.